Welcome to lesson 3 on JShell. In this lesson we will create Java statements. We will look at to create variables, methods and classes, and also look at scratch variables that is provided to us by JShell. We will navigate to our faulty code, edit it and then test it again. So let's get to it. Okay, I'm going to start my JShell session. So I'm going to type JShell in small letters like we did before. Okay, let's say I want to create a statement in Java, let's say a string and so on. You just type it in. So I'm going to say string course is equal to, let's call this course JShell for, say, dummies is our string. Just like I would do a normal statement where I'm defining a variable of type string. And there it is. Course is JShell for dummies. Okay, so let me change it. It's in normal mode. So I'm going to set it, if you recall, I'm going to set it to the feedback to verbose, and I'm just going to use V, the short for verbose. I could have typed it out, and as you can see, feedback mode is verbose. Now you can leave out the semicolon at the end of the statement, although being a Java program I prefer not to. So I could have typed in, let's define another string, let's say student, and let's say it is Peter Johnson, something like that, and I'm not putting the semicolon, and as you see this, it created a variable student of type string. Okay, when you enter expression that doesn't have a variable name, a scratch variable is created so that the value can be referred to later on. So what I'm saying there, yeah, is it's just say 35. We know it's an integer, and if I type 35, you see it created a scratch variable named $3 of type int, which I would then be able to access it later on. I can change $3 now, because I know the scratch variable is called $3. So $3, let's say change it to 55. And you see now it says assign scratch variable $3 of type int. Okay, and its value is now 55. I can even reassign it to a different type. So I can redefine it. So I can say, let's make it a double. 3, let's say, is equal to 11.6. And I'm not going to put a semicolon this time. And you can see $3 11.6 replaced variable $3 to a double. And remember, I'm using verbose mode because it's easier to see. It's the most descriptive of them, also it works nicely. Okay, so I'm going to now try another one. Let's say 12 plus 23.7, and as you can see, I've got an int value, a double or a float, and an operator. What do you think is going to happen in this case? Let's see. It's created a variable $6 of type double. What about the string? Let's try a string. Let's say I just type in John Peter, and you see scratch variable 7 is John Peter, and it's of type string. So yeah, we created a string object and it's given a scratch variable of 7. We can even create a method. Let's go ahead and create a method. I'm going to say it returns a double, and I'm going to call it cube me. And let's say it takes a double as a parameter value. And note what it does now. This here indicates that I haven't finished my definition of my method. So it expects more input. So I'm going to say return, and it's a cube, so it's a value multiplied by value multiplied by value, and I'm going to do it that way, and I'm going to close my method, and there it tells me created cube me double. Now to call it, let's go and call it, run it and see what happens. So I'm going to call it, I'm going to not call it, let's assign, I'm going to assign it the result to a double. So I'm going to say, because we know that method turns a double, I'm going to say it's result equals, and I'm going to call cube me, and let's give it the value 5.5, and oops, I've got a problem. It's giving me an error. It says yeah, cannot find symbol. So it's telling me that cub me doesn't exist because it's cube me, not cub me, as you can see there. Now I can use the up down, left and right to navigate to my previous, or to navigate. So up, down, and left, right arrows. So I'm going to go up, and you see if I go further, I'm going up, and I can go down again to my code until the end. So the one that I know is wrong is this one. So now I can go left and just edit it. It's cube me, and then I'm just going to enter again, and there you see result, which is of type double. It's got a value of 166. So it's got a result of 166.375. So I'll fix that by navigating to it. So I can go and print that result now. So let's say System.out.println, and I'm going to say result, and there I call the result. Well, it also applies, you can also use a scratch variable here. So if I had to say, just type in cube me, let's take 3.0 this time, it expects a double, and you see what happened. It's gone and created a scratch variable named $11 of type double, and its value is 27. So I could access that variable same as I would access my own variable, System.out.println, and I just use the name of that scratch variable, which is $11, and there it is. So that is working fine. Now, just like Java, JShell will ignore your comment. So in this case, say System.out.println let's gonna put here I did print. Just a simple string that's gonna output to the console. That's fine. And if I go back to it, let's put now comments there. So I've added now comments, I've changed it, and you see now it didn't print because I put comments there. And the same would be if you used the multiple line, it would do the same. Let's try that. So I'm going to say, let's say System.out.println, this will not, I'll give it a line here, will not, let's say this will not, and you see again it's expecting more input there. Print if commented out, something like that. And you see it did print, but what happens if I go and give it comments? So I'm going to go edit it, and I'm going to say it's a multiple commented line. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to say it starts there with a comment, and I say that's in comments, and you see it ignored it. Now we can also create classes. So let's go and create a class. Let's say I'm going to create a student class. Okay, so I'm going to say public class student. Okay, then let's say this it's got a string. The student's got a name, and let's say obviously it's got an age. So let's say it's got an age. We use an int for that in this case. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to give it a constructor student, and it's going to take a string, the same name, and int age as parameters. And then yeah, I'm going to say this dot name, my dot missing, this dot name is equal to name, and let's say this dot age is equal to age. Okay, so you see it's got those arrows, dot arrows, saying that it needs more input. I'm not finished the class yet. Let's give it a string method. So a toString method, in other words. I'm going to say public string. I'm going to override the toString, in other words, toString, and I'm going to return. Let's give it something, a good output, something like name. And I'm going to say is, I'll give it some spaces, and then I'm going to have the age here, some spaces, and let's say years old. I spelled wrong. Years old. Close that method, and then we're going to close the class, and everything's alright. It's giving me errors. It's complaining about age here plus years old. Why is it complaining? So it's complaining here. It's saying that it's expecting a semicolon there because I've got a variable and I didn't concatenate since I'm returning a string here. So let's fix that so we know we can navigate to it. So I'm just going to go back there and let's just fix that. I'm going to add a concatenate there and enter, and the student class has been created. So I fixed that error by navigating to it and fixing it. Now I can easily instantiate a student. I'm just going to say student, like you would do normally in Java. Say S1 is equal to new of student. Now we'll call this one Antonio. Before we make a mistake, must be in Antonio, and it says 12 years old, and there S1, my variable Antonio is 12 years old, has been created. It's outputting, you see there the description it's outputting here is using the toString over there. And it says here it created S1 of type student, you see, of type of my class. So that's working nicely. Let's see if a scratch variable would be created. So I'm just going to say new student, and let's call this one beta, short for Elizabeth. And let's make this one 11 years old. This girl, she's 11 years old. And you see a scratch record S17, and it's using the toString again, was created of type student. And if I wanted to print them out, as easy as that, I'll just say System.out.println. Let's say student1, and there Antonio is 12 years old, and I can access my scratch variables as well. I'm going to go print line, and that one was, and we just need to know it is $17, the name it gave. So $17, battery is 11 years old. And finally we use the exit command to exit our JShell session, and there we've exit. We saw how easy it is to write a Java statement in JShell. We also saw that JShell provides us with a scratch variable if we did not provide one, and that one accesses this variable like any other user-defined variable. Finally, we created a method and a class and used them in JShell. I hope you learned something from this lesson, and please be free to put your comments in the comment sections. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press the like and notify buttons. I've also got a Facebook page related to this channel that you're welcome to visit. See you at the next lesson, where we'll carry on exploring JShell. Until later, happy coding.